Okay, this is the last. There's just one other story. This is a quick story about Hollywood, or I will call it like Hollyweird. If you know who like Coco Jones is, she has a video on YouTube where she talks about this. She talks about like Hollyweird, and to anyone who's like thinking about, oh my God, I want to come to California. I want to be in Hollywood. All the models are in Hollywood. All the beautiful people are in LA, and we love all of the like celebrities and blah de blahs, what the fuck ever's. Like, all right, quick story time. I am not the LA person. This is why I've never moved to LA. I know all those niggas, not all of them, but quite a lot of them, and like, ooh, the stories I could tell. But I will actually just take, this is a conversation that's about morality and ethics for a second. And specifically I wanna go back to my previous conversation about E40 being trash. Like, that old nigga is trash. He's been trash, and there's other niggas who prop him up, and those niggas are trash too. So, like, saying that, sticking by my story, I'm not changing my story. But to like go back a second, like, you, whoever you are, if you're listening to this, if you are alive and have a pulse and ears, like, you get to decide who you support and who you listen to. You get to choose. Like I really actually appreciate the call out culture that has been happening with like a lot of artists. For instance, like Cardi B, for her really anti-black racism when she was calling black women rats or roaches. Like, that bitch is a whole ass hoe stripper. Like, it's just nuts. It's like somebody will literally be a crackhead calling somebody else like a hoe or something. It's just like, talk about the pot calling the kettle black, right? Like, it's so frustrating. But, you know, let's just let Cardi B be her. You know, also I would just throw in there, for all of my ratchet woes, I was here for Meg Thee Stallion. And then she just had, like, why some white girls always gotta ruin some shit? Why did you put Kylie in the video? Why? Like, or Cardi B, like, neither one of those hoes needed to be there. No, it was a really good thing. Like, we were really happy in the black sphere with Meg. And even, like, hopefully people have had real conversations about accountability, because, like, that's some straight nigga shit. The dude who, like, shot her in the toe? Really? Bruh, like, I would have had to go to the hospital for sure. Like, somebody shoots me in the toe, I'm blasting them in the face. Nope. Like, all right, okay. Like, I will limp my ass to get an AK. Like, wow. Like, can you even just imagine the type of, like, that's some straight nigga shit. Like, that is just, but still, I'm going back to the story time. Okay, so a lot of people see these, like, music videos, you know, especially, like, I think there's really something in, like, entertainment is just fucking entertainment. It is there to entertain you, right? But, like, the people behind the entertainment are people. They're just people. They're regular people. They have lives and they make mistakes, and they live in this society. And, like, I just want to tell one story, and this is when I had, like, my Coco Jones moment. I had quite a few. Like, I really thought, like, when I was growing up, I had real ambitions to be, like, a dancer. And, like, you see people doing it now. Like, one good example is, like, Kyle Hanagami, who makes all these, like, YouTube videos and choreographs for people. Like, you see now, like, they're starting to normalize choreographers. Like, that was my dream growing up. But I'm telling you, America killed my little black girl dream. They were like, nah, we don't do hood ballerinas. Like, that's not a thing. We don't fuck with black girls. And I was just like, all right. And then, what is it? A lot of shit has changed since then. They have some movie on Netflix about the black girl. But honestly, like, if you have a kid who's into dance or entertainment, art, any of that shit, I would tell you, think of that shit as a hobby. It is a hobby. Hollywood is not for us. It is Hollyweird. It's Holly fucking weird. Weirdos, like straight up. But here's my story. So I'm at OSA, you know, I'm doing dance. I love dance, like, and I've been dancing for a since I was 4. I've been in the ballet studio, in modern jazz, all of that tap, since I was 4. But I'm telling you, this little like hood ballerina, they can't let me live. They're not trying to let me live out here. They won't let me live, nigga. Like, I can't, they won't let me be great. So I'm at OSA, you know, doing my hip hop shit. Also, at that time, hip hop was looked down on. Like, it wasn't even seen as like a real dance form. Nobody took hip hop serious back then. They were like, those aren't real dancers. We only fuck with ballerinas. And if you don't know, there's a lot of shit that plays into like classism. Like, a lot of black girls who were dancers at that time were like street dancers. A lot of them didn't have the money to like pay for classes, because a class costs like $15 to $20. So if you're earning like $10 an hour living on your own, you can't afford class, and there's like no work study or some shit, like you just can't pay basically, so you can't take the class. So think about that 10 or 15 years down the line, when you're like, you never had the money as a child to take the class, and then you get older and you still don't have the money. It's like it will weed you out of opportunities where other people have had access, right? But there's also something to representation. Like, the big idea around Hollywood is they're trying to represent society as a whole, but they can't represent some shit that they've never seen before. So like, they've never seen, clearly at that time, they'd never seen black ballerinas, or didn't understand that there were like black middle class people who dance ballet and hip hop, and who actually just like Jay-Z and hip hop. It was like too far-fetched. Like, no one got it. Like, you can't be a punk ballerina hip hopper. So, you know, the intersectionality here is too much for American whiteness to understand. Anyway, I'm at OSA, I'm being great after school. And, also, so I grew up in Berkeley though. So like, all my friends at that time were, you know, still at the Berkeley school. So like, I went to BAM, Berkeley Arts Magnet, loved Dance Then. Then I went to Longfellow, loved Dance Then. Then I went to Oakland School of the Arts, and then I transferred from Berkeley High. But this is the story of why I transferred to Berkeley High. So I'm at OSA. I felt like I was like the dance version of Rihanna. I was like, yo, we were like living the black version of Glee. But niggas can't let people be great. They won't let nobody be great. You can't be great out here. I was like, oh, I didn't know what Glee was, and a High School Musical and all that shit. Like, the only thing we had back then was like Fame, like the original version of Fame. I was like, this is our life. It was so cool. But no, I'm telling you, they can't let a bitch be great. Like, so I'm at OSA. This is so bullshit. Okay, so I'm there. I'm at the time, so this is like what, 8 in the morning through like 5:30. We're in that school dancing for like 8 hours a day. After school, this is because they don't do hip hop at OSA. After school, I was with like a couple of my dance companies. I wasn't with Future Shock anymore. I think I might have been with City Shock, with like the UFO movement, I can't even remember all the companies I was with back then, but I was there. And so after school, I would like go to rehearsal, and on the weekends we had shows, and then sometimes during the week at OSA, like, we had shows too, right? Okay, so I'm there, you know, doing other things, and I'm dating this guy. Like, some of y'all might know, like, the artist. Like, I'm sorry, I think I'm just too petty. I should really, you know, be nicer. But so at that time, like, I was going to school with a guy like Adrian Marcel, he's like a singer now. People like praise him for shit, but like, I did like the same shittiness that he was then, he still is now. And it's like a ripple effect. It's like the Too Short effect. So here's the story. So like, at OSA, like, I'm like dancing. To me, I see this dude as like the like singer version of me, and I'm like, okay, we should hang because like I dance, you sing. Like I feel like probably these communities are gonna come together. You see this now all the time where you literally have like the dancers, right? And they're like, then there's like the singers, and or like Blackpink, how they like dance and sing, and it's like real choreography, like real dancers. Like unless you're like really a part of that community, a lot of people just they couldn't see it, they couldn't see the future anyway. So I'm like, all right, I should talk to this dude anyway. So talking to him at the school, like at that time, the whole time I was in high school, like I was a virgin. I never had sex in high school at all because I just saw some crazy shit. Like people had all type of diseases and just weird shit. You know, high school boys don't know shit about sex anyway. So I was dating like college dudes then, and I was just like, yeah, I'm over high school anyway. So they're dating him. I find out that he's like fucking this like Mexican girl, and she, when I tell you, like, wow, I've never seen no hood bitch quite like her. Like she was like literally the school hoe, like, and she wasn't even like also at the time, this nigga wasn't even, I don't know what I was thinking. Like he had the worst skin I've ever seen. Like his skin was so bad. Like he had pimples the size of like gumballs all over his face. Like they were like exploding from his fucking face. They were so bad. Like I don't know why I couldn't see the light then, but anyway, I didn't. I was a dumb hoe. Dumb little girl. Olivia, what's wrong with you? Anyway, and also I couldn't see toward the future. I couldn't see it. So I find out, I was like, oh my God, I'm so hurt. I can't believe it. I'm getting like, I'm just getting cheated on, and it's so awful. And I was just so hurt. I felt like I couldn't show my face then, because also back then I was like, integrity was so critical to like who I was as a person. I'm like, yo, this dude cheated on me. I have to show my face in this school. Fuck this. I'm leaving. I'm going to Berkeley High. I don't even want to be a dancer anyway, because I already know this nigga's gonna go to like LA and do entertainment shit, and really I just don't want to be around this nigga. So I'm leaving. I don't even want to be a part of the art scene no more. Like I'm out. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. All men are trash. Like that's just where I was. I was like young, right? All right. So I go to Berkeley High, and like I said, like I have people from kindergarten who were like my homies at Berkeley High. I go there and I started talking to some of them, especially like my main homie. Like we're like blood sisters since birth, basically. Like I've known this girl my whole life, right? So I'm, I hadn't seen her in a minute though. So I come back, I'm like talking to her. I'm like, blah, blah, what's up? Hey, how's it going? I tell her the story, like, yeah, I got cheated on. She's like, niggas are trash, like, whatever, let's just hang out and chill. So, then I get to meet new people who I've never met before because I didn't go to elementary school or middle school with them. Then I meet Jelena. Jelena, if you're watching this, you will forever be like my bitch. Like, I can't even explain to you. Like, I meet her and I was like, oh, she's so nice, right? She's so nice. Like, and then I would keep seeing her places. And it just so happens that we literally dated all the same people. It was like, if there was some guy I was talking to, he was like her ex, right? And then it just so happens at the same time I was like dating Adrian. He was dating her as well at Berkeley High. And while I was at OSA, there was this like white girl who used to be friends with like Linnea. There was some like Kayla like was friends with Linnea. There was like some other bitches who like they knew this the whole time. Like they knew that he was like dating me and dating Jelena, and no one decided to like speak up and be like, this is not okay. At the same time that he's like fucking, what was her name, like Cynthia, whatever Mexican bitch, whatever her name is, he's like fucking her. I was like, yo, this is nuts. This is fucking nuts. Like, this nigga's running the whole city. Like, he got the whole city on lock. I guess he thought because like everybody was at different schools that nobody would know. And I was like, all right, let me just go like have a conversation with Jelena to really break this shit down. And it was like nigga therapy. We were like okay, so this person's been trash since then, and then here too, and then here too. Oh, and then just a whole ass list of everybody being trash. They never stop. They just keep being trash all day long. Go through the whole ass city. You're like, bruh, this is a lot. Then at the same time, so the only reason even I knew what OSA was because when I was at Longfellow, I loved to dance. And of course, like my twin, if you're watching this, you will forever and always be my, I love you, Rio, you're great. Like, Rio, man, from Spanish class. Anyway, no, but like, so Rio was like, Olivia, you should go to OSA. I'm going to OSA next year. OSA is going to be great. And I didn't know what it was. My mom wanted me to go to this like college prep school to go to CPA, right? And like my best friend at the time was like Allie Brown, like bitty fitty. We don't really talk, but like she was going to CPA, and I was like, oh, yeah. So I was deciding between CPA, Berkeley High, and Oakland School for the Arts, and I was like, yeah, but my first love is dance. Like I will always and forever love dance. Dance is my bitch, right? And then it was like, nah. What am I saying? So I decided to go to OSA. Rio's there, and Rio's dating this guy named Justin. Justin was in a group. Damn, I can't remember the name of Justin's. I can't even recall. But he had this song called like "Ride or Die Chick," right? And he wrote the song about Rio, and it was the cutest thing ever. Like, literally, I would walk around Longfellow all day with all my homies because like after school we would just like go to San Pablo Park or like go. So we're just like kicking it after school. I put everybody on the song. I was like, yo, this song is about Rio, my sis, and it was so cute. I was like, oh, she's like the ride or die chick forever. And it was I'm gonna like share the song because I still play it sometimes to like reminisce. It was adorable. Black love stories do exist, but they be trying to make y'all think that they don't. They be lying. Anyway, so I'm like, I fucking love Rio. Like, this is so cool. Of course, Justin is like a cheater who is awful too. Okay, so rewind. Let's go forward a little bit. So I transferred to Berkeley High. I'm like, oh, I'm over it all. I joined dance production and get kicked out, but that's a whole other thing. And also Sierra gets named as best fucking dancer. The tattoo bitch with no technical training. Are you fucking kidding me? I burned the yearbook. I don't even look at that yearbook anymore. The yearbooks sometimes cannot be real life. It's not about fucking meritocracy. It's about like proximity to whiteness, and fuck all that shit. Like, what? Like, that bitch, like, are you kidding me? Like, like some shit it just really, okay, so I'm gonna unpack that shit for myself in therapy, because like I really shouldn't be that mad at another person for something that happened a long time ago, but I'm still not over it. So then let's move forward a little bit. So now I'm at Berkeley High. I'm still in these companies. I think I was like super rocking with the UFO movement at that point. And we actually performed at Berkeley High, which was really fun. It was like a week after I got kicked out of dance production, and there was a dance production show. I had a performance anyway in the same theater at Berkeley High with the UFO movement. So fuck you, Miss Carr. You're still white trash and a Karen. Let's just keep going with this. So where was I? Oh, okay. So then while I was with the UFO movement, there's a singer who's like local now. Her name is like Mara Ruby, and she used to dance when we were in City Shock. She was like in that company, and I think she went to Holy Names or one of those schools in the Oakland Hills. I can't remember, but she goes there, and so we were in the same company, and I was like mad little. Like, I think she's like 5 years older than me, but I looked to me, she was like big sister. Like, I was like, oh wow, like she's so cool. And there was like one of her friends, Daniela, and Daniela totally turned into like a whole like LA video girl, but she was like literally like my sis. Like, I was like, bruh, she's so pretty, just like me. Like, we both dance, and I love Daniela, and like she was friends with Daniela, so I was like, oh, Mara's like a really awesome like big sister person. Just so happens Mara was in a long-term relationship with Adrian's brother, Dario. So and I have a brother, and it just so happens like my brother knew, like, I guess they were in like the same class at Berkeley High. So Mara has a whole article where she writes about this, but the reason they broke up, and maybe there are multiple reasons they weren't meant to be, but he was a serial cheater. He cheats on her 9 different times while they were in a serious relationship. And she was like, it took me years to get over this. Like, she couldn't even, she was like, I can't date anyone. She was really hurt from that. I really wish she would like talk and write about that, because that's an album I would love to listen to. Like, I am here when that album comes out. I'm playing that. But my point being is that, do you see the levels of trashness and how they just like trickle down? It doesn't, like, when you support artists like Too Short and then you just blindly are like, oh, they're great, oh, the barrier, blah blah blah. You support Adrian, right? And the literal toxicity, then Dario. It's like they just keep going. It's like they're doing trash shit, ruining our communities. Like the women who are here, like, I'm a woman in the society and the community. Mara's a woman in the society and the community. Jalena's a woman in the society and community. But clearly that whole family was like, fuck all these broads, like, fuck all of them. We hate all these hoes. We're just gonna be trash. And they've literally been trash and gotten a pass, and people still like support. They still support, even though they're trash. Then there was some, I don't know why this shit keeps coming up in my feed, but he was on a show with like a black woman calling her a queen, and I was like, what? Does she even know this nigga is? He's like the least, the dude who would never. He's like literally just saying that to get like black women to like support his shit, because like he's like the most hoe nigga ever. Him and his brother, like, clearly they like, you know, teach each other how to be hoes out here. Like, everyone just does it. It's like, here, let me just write a whole manual. Let me teach you, young sir. Justin too, just all of them. They have like a hoe clan, just like an app or something, clearly, that they all use, and they just be on here like, yeah, let's all trash black women. We're gonna like date all of them in the city. Oh, well, this one lives in the hills, and this one's from the gutter, and this one's from Berkeley High. They don't know each other. We all 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 know it. It's just not that big. I've been too many fucking places in the globe at this point. Too many fucking people. So that is my story of niggas are trash and Bay Area male black toxic masculinity is awful, and you should opt the fuck out. That is the lesson for today.